All right. Very good evening to everyone. My name is Ishani, and welcome to Ivy's Bootcamp. Very quickly, let me introduce myself and my company, Ivy. I am one of the directors at Ivy, and I'm the key trainer for tools like Advanced Excel, for automation of Excel using VBA, for the data visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau. Along with it, definitely to use these tools, we need to acquire the knowledge of SQL. So that's the profile that I have. A quick introduction to Ivy. Ivy has been into this industry of analytics for the past 14 years. We have been doing a lot of training for the retail batches as well as the corporates. The corporates vary from anywhere from a mid-sized company to a large multinational companies who is into analytics, boutique companies of analytics. So we do training, we do consulting with these companies, and we have been consistently among the top 10 since the ranking has started in India. Like you can see, we have offices in multiple cities, and a set of highly experienced trainers are here. Now, the reason why we have the boot camps is very simple. This word analytics, data science has become very, very popular among all the students and the professionals as well. And a lot of people come and inquire or want to get into this industry. So we started this boot camp, which happens every month with the intention to educate people who want to get into this industry, and best way to educate the everyone is to talk about the industry, talk about what kind of work is the person is doing, introducing you to the tools that are used in the industry a lot. So right now, if you go to any company's job opening and if you look at the skill set that is required, you will see on the top is Python, and SQL has become like a integral part of working in analytics or working on multiple data sets. And then we have the data visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau. So in these 3 days, you will be going through with the different trainers and working on different tools with different data sets and see how these tools are being used. All right. So any questions that you have regarding the tool set, you can ask any question that you have regarding analytics. We can take it a little after the session is over. Okay. Now, a quick question. How many of you have downloaded Power BI? Okay. I see one, two. Only two people have downloaded. Three. All right. Three people. Not many people have downloaded it. Okay. Now, I have in the chat window that you see over here, you will see that I have given you a link, which I'm pasting once again. I would request all of you to click on this link. This will open up in Google Sheet, which is going to look something like this. And once you are in Google Sheet, I don't want you to work in Google Sheet, but I want you to download this data set that I will be using today. And in order to download it, you will have to go to the file. Under file, you can download, and you can download it as an Excel file. Okay, once ready with the data, just write it in chat, ready or yes, or download it. That will give me a hint that most of you have it. Okay, so I see a couple of names who have downloaded: Sonal, Amit, Sagar, Mangesh, Akash, Aman, Kartikeya, Yuvraj, Irshad. Can you send me? I have, okay, I will put the link once again, Irshad. and you need to click on that link, which will take you to the Google Sheets, and from there you can download it. All right. Now, while you're downloading the data set, can anybody help me to understand what is the purpose of Power BI? Like, why do we have this tool called Power BI? Like I told you, these are one of the important tool sets to possess in today's time. Why do you think it is important? What's the purpose of Power BI?
Ma'am, here we do data and visualizing. That's why we need data set.
Absolutely, for the visualization of the data. And why do you think visualization has become so important?
Yeah,
So
ma'am,
it is a eye-catching point, ma'am. Everyone very easily understand what it is.
Absolutely correct. So, gone are the days where we were dependent totally on reports which were data driven. Okay. Now, this is also data driven, but in this case, it is created for people who are not data savvy, right? As an analyst, I can understand the data. I know how to work with my data. I know how to analyze my data, but not my end user, as in the customer that I will be catering to, the consumer of the end product might not be the person who is technical. So the entire data science industry is gearing towards coming up with softwares which are little less on coding, little more friendly, and the all are working in such a way that the end product that is given to the user is easily understandable, and a person is able to figure out or understand the things that you've written in report and can visualize it at the same time for a better understanding and a faster understanding. So that's the reason visualization industry has become very, very big. Back in 2015, that is when I saw, everybody get into visualization, and now it's at, different level altogether that we are looking at. So today, what we are trying to analyze, if you look at the data set, we are trying to analyze the Indian startup. This is Indian startup data set. The startups that had started in India, what was the date when they started, what's the name of the startup, what is the vertical, is it an e-commerce company, is it an IT driven, is it finance, is it logistic, what is it for? Then within a vertical, for example, if I pick, let's say, if I pick, let's pick something easy like finance. Okay, let's say if I pick finance, in finance also there are various sub verticals like startup crowdfunding, VC funding, fintech, online lending, and so on and so forth. Okay, and where the startup is located, who is the investor for the startups, what kind of investment the person has done, and what is the amount in USD that has been given as a startup money. So this information is given to us. Now, when we create a dashboard, it is always for someone that we are creating a dashboard. So with this data set, how do you think we can help anyone? Who do you think would be interested in looking at this data set?
This will help management, ma'am. Management, my boss, and this we will present to outside investor also. Is it correct?
But how will the management? This is a startup, right? Startup means a person who's want to be an entrepreneur. He has an idea and he floats to the investors, and investors put in his money and this starts his company, right? So there's no boss who's going to look at this, or the boss might be interested if he or she wants to start another company.
Sir, ma'am, this can happen is that the person who's going to invest can understand that which area is getting more funding.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. So this data can be used in two ways. Okay. How this data can be used in two ways. One, let's say I am a budding entrepreneur I want to start a company. So this data will help me to understand that which type of companies, where is the ecosystem to open up my company, so which cities have more startup ecosystem, uh, which type of investors are looking in which type of verticals, right? What would be, let's say, an average amount of investment that I require to do a startup, right? So which kind of startups are there which have been funded? So these are successful startups in the sense that somebody was interested in the thoughts and the ideas behind the company and they've invested their money into it. So what has been successful where people have invested? What kind of investors are there who are investing? What's an average amount of investing? That's one side of it. Another side of it could be if I'm an investor, right? Again, I might look at this data to see, okay, where are other people investing? Because if others are investing, then again, from business point of view, I feel that yes, it's a much more secure investment from our side, right? Because when you're investing in startup, it may be a boom, startup is very successful, good, your investment comes back, you get some percentage, you get some shares in it, or it might just collapse. The startup might try to run for a year and then it loses all its money, so your money is gone. So in order to make a secure investment, I would like to see what others are also doing and what kind of money people are giving. So you understood, all of you understood that one data, it's not that there is only one way of looking at the data. Depending on who we are creating a dashboard for, who is going to be the end user, what we're going to present would be different. Is it clear to all?
Yeah, absolutely correct.
All right. Now, I work as a consultant, meaning I don't have data of my own. I work on other companies' data. So a very important part of my role in this industry becomes to understand the business, number one, because if I don't understand the business, I cannot find anything useful for the business. And number two, I want to make sure I understand each and every data that is given to me. For example, if a date is given, what is this date? What is vertical? What do you mean by sub-vertical? What do you mean by investment type? What are the various investment types? And so on and so forth. So this does not have too many columns. And I think all the columns that you're looking at are self-explanatory to make you understand what it is all about. Correct? Is there anyone who does not understand any one of the headers? All good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So now let's say what I do usually, I'm just taking you through the process that I would usually or typically take when I'm working on a dashboard for a client. So once I've looked at the data, once I've taken the understanding of what they require, who my end user is, for whom am I creating it, I would typically sketch it up. Okay, don't go on my handwriting, pretty bad when I'm writing on a screen. But what am I doing is I'm trying to create a dashboard which talks about the startup trends in India. So what am I interested in? I am interested in, okay, in this entire data set, how many startups am I talking about? What is the total investment that has been there? How many types of startups are there? So I'm talking about the verticals, like how many different type of startups can be there. And I'm going to analyze this based on various years. Let's say in 2018, what was the trend versus in 19, what was the trend? Like I said, when I'm thinking about a startup, I need to understand which city are the ones where the maximum startups are, because that indicates there is an ecosystem in that city for startups. I will be able to get funding. I will have the right connections, the right networking to do that. So I am finding the top 10 cities, and not in terms of investment, but the count. In, let's say, which city do you think would have maximum startups in India? Just a wild guess. Bangalore, right? Followed by second number?
Hyderabad.
Pune.
Hyderabad. Okay. Pune, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi NCR. These are the places where people
Gurgaon.
invest a lot. Gurgaon, right? So we are going to figure out which are my top 10 cities. We will find out if there are, let's say, 1,700 startups, 1,200 startups, whatever the data is over here. out of that, which vertical of startup has the highest number, right? Versus, let's say if it's finance, in finance also, which are the sub verticals in which people are investing, or which type of startups are there. Then we will also look at who are my top investors, and we will talk about, based on the various verticals, sub verticals that are there, because when you do a startup, it is based on your sub vertical, not just vertical. I can't say I'm going to have let's say for example, e-commerce. Now e-commerce in what? Am I selling clothes? Am I selling pharmacy? What am I selling? So that becomes your sub vertical. So I want to understand, based on my top sub verticals, what is the average investment that has been made in this startup. So this, what you're looking at, is the thought that, okay, this is what I'm going to give to the end user. And typically when you sketch it out, obviously with the pretty handwriting on top of it, then you will see that you have to get an okay for the end user also to say, yeah, this is what I was looking for, go ahead and create it. And then our real work starts. So ready to get started? Yes, for those of you who are Power BI, if you could open Power BI. I had started working on it, but I'll just start it once again. So when you open Power BI, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to start a fresh file of Power BI. So if you would have downloaded Power BI Desktop, it's an app. So once you click on it, it'll open the app.
Ma'am, is it a trial version, ma'am?
So Power BI Desktop is free of cost. It does not have any expiration on it, but it does not have any sharing capacity. Like, for example, if I want to share it with someone, then I can't do it. On a trial version, like this is not a trial version. You can pretty much do everything with it, but it's the sharing is not allowed on this. It's a desktop public that you need to download. If you guys want, quickly, let me do this thing. Power BI desktop download. You can use this website, and if you want to download now, you can put it on download. Once this is over, these sessions are still available with you, so you can work on it later. So once you reach this screen, the screen that you see on the yellow side might look different from what you guys have opened. The reason is that I have logged into it, but for you have not logged into it. Can we do the same exercise in Tableau, and what's the major difference between Power BI? Yes, we can do the same exercise on Tableau because both are data visualization tools. The major difference between Tableau and Power BI, I think, is the data handling capacity. One. Second is just the interface is different in the sense in Power BI, we have 3-4 places where we have to be. And in case of Tableau, they have made it relatively little easier, a little more intuitive for you to work. Power BI, I think, requires a lot of, it does require a good amount of effort to learn this Power BI. Tableau, on this other hand, I feel it's more intuitive. And if you are a user of Excel, you will be able to adapt to it faster. Though both have been created for people who were working originally on Excel. You will see whether it's Tableau or Power BI, the functions are pretty much the same. Okay, so once we are over here, we are going to go to Get Data. So once you click on Get Data, it will bring you to the screen. And over here, it will open up a window like it did, and it's called Get Data. Okay, now what this is telling you, this is giving you an understanding of what are the different type of data sources we can connect our data with, because that's the number one challenge we have in the industry right now. Data is present in a lot of variety, data is present in a lot of volume. So every day, each and every tool set that you come across, the new tool sets, you will feel that what they're expanding on is the data connectivity. They're trying to make it as better as possible. So our data is not very heavy duty. It's very small data set. I had to clean up the data a little bit. Still, some cleaning would be required on this. But in cleaning up few data, I did not have enough information to keep it, so I had to get rid of it. So over here, we are going to connect to our Excel workbook, right? So click on Excel workbook. Once you do, you're going to select the Excel workbook on which you want to work with and click open. Now, once you do that, it is going to give you this window. And in this window, since it's an Excel file may have multiple worksheets. Each worksheet has its own set of data. So it will show you all the worksheets over here. And whichever sheet you want to pick the data from, you will check mark over here. In our sheet, I just have one. That's only one is showing up. On the right hand side, it shows you the preview of the data, like what all information is there. It's showing you the headers, it's showing the value under the headers over here. And we are going to click on load. As soon as you click on load, that one error, just leave it. Don't worry about it. So as soon as you load it, over here in the field, you will see startup coming up. This is the name of the worksheet which we have loaded. And within this worksheet, when I click over here, these are the fields or the headers that I have. Right? There are two headers, column 10, column 11. They're actually empty. So if you want, you can go ahead and delete it. If you want to leave it, let it be. No harm done with the empty columns. So these are basically empty columns which have got picked up. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it from my model. Okay, so far so good. This is the very first step. What we do, we access the data. Then we transform the data. Then we model the data. And then we do our visualization. And then the deployment comes. So first step is done. We have accessed the data. We have done a connection between Power BI and our Excel workbook. So those of you who are doing hands-on, I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Let me know if it's done. Adnan done, Abhishek done, Amit done. Can you explain the part of uploading once again? Sure. What if I downloaded a CSV and insert? Yes, it could be a CSV, it could be Excel, it doesn't matter. Right? It's just you have to choose the right data type. So how do you connect it? Once you click on get data in the front window, the Explorer like this will click, open up, click on Excel workbook, click on connect, and then pick up the file, Indian startup data that I've sent you, and click open. Once you open it, then it'll give you a preview and it'll show you the worksheets. We have only one worksheet, so you can select, look at the preview and load it. Who said you have an error? What error is it showing, Dhritiman? Dhritiman, what error is it showing you? I hope you're not trying to do a login. Don't try to log in into it. You don't have to do any kind of login for Power BI. You just have to, on the left-hand side, you will get data. Click on that. No, you can't use the online version of Power BI. The reason is, you can, it's not that you cannot, but for over here, if I'm going to do any kind of transformation, or if I'm going to use the DAX, that you can't do on the online version of Power BI. It's more for like few edits that you have to do in your visualization and more for sharing it with others. So not a very good idea to work on an online version of it. Yes, the session recording will be shared. Okay, So once this is done, let's look at quickly through the most important components that you should know about Power BI. So in this screen itself, on the right hand side, you have three important panels, which is fields, visualizations, and filters. What does field have? Field have your data, the tables that you have. It may be one, it may be many. It may be one, it may be many tables that you're working with. And underneath each table, you will have the fields that are there. Number two is visualization. Like you can see over here, it shows you the various charts that you can create and build your visualization, build your dashboard. And filters, like the name suggests, helps us to do filtering. It could be filtering of a particular visualization. It could be filtering of the entire dashboard. It could be filtering of the entire file. If there are multiple dashboard, all the filtering will be applied over there. External component has thrown an exception. Probably the download was not done properly, Dritiman. That is what I can think about when I look at this error. So if you could try to download it once again, that would be helpful. Otherwise, just give me some time. Once I start making others work, I can look at your screen. Now, this is main area. All we are doing, the visualization part, we typically do in the first section of it, which is reports. That's where it opens up also. This is where your visualizations, your dashboards are. Second is data, where you can look at the data that we have. So all the data that you saw in Excel, over here also we have it. And the last component is the data models, modeling that you do. So over here, there's no modeling since there's only one table involved. But if there were multiple tables, you have to create relationships between various tables for it to work. So given the time, given the what do you say, the intention of this particular program is not to scare you, not to take you to anything which is more higher level, just to give you a brief of how interesting these tools are and how interesting it is to interpret data using these tools. So let's start with the first thing. The first thing that I'm going to start with is to create these buttons over here, right? These buttons that you see. Total number, total investment, data types, it is going to show up something like this. These are called cards. Cards do what? Cards in big, bold letters or numbers give you the most important figures that any company would be looking at. Like for a company, sales is very important, profits are very important, right? If there are some cost margins to look at, then we will be involved in it. If there are quantities involved, we will be looking at that. So these are called the cards, and this helps us to get the bigger picture of our business very quickly in a card. So our intention is first to create these cards. So let's get to it. Where will I find cards? You will find in the visualization. Remember, this is a place where I told you is all the charts are kept. So this is the card, which is the fourth column and the fourth row where 1, 2, 3 is written. This is called a card. You can only put one field in it at a time. And what it does, it kind of aggregates that field and returns a number to you. So once I click on the card, it creates a placeholder over here. And I can resize it so that it looks good. I have 3 more, right? And I will start to populate. Now, once you have to populate this thing, this part is done through the panel of field. Because to populate a visualization, to populate a chart, you need some fields to be dropped. So what do I want in the first one? I want the number of startups that have been there. So which column do you think would I work with or I should work with in order to find out how many startups data do I have? What should I use?
Serial number.
Would we?
Serial number.
Serial number I can use, yes. And I can use startup name also.
Ma'am, amount, is it possible? Amount
and all, you have to understand which is the best possible. Why I'm saying best possible, if I use a serial number and let's say in my data some startups were repeated multiple times, okay, then that would give me a wrong idea. because startup is only one, but it's mentioned twice in my data. When I drop amount will do a summation of the total investment amount it will give me. Then I have to do a count on it. So it's 2 level of work. So which will be the easiest one to do? Startup names. You guys will do it. The startup names, isn't it? If I ask you, see, I feel that you guys can, if you want to be good with data, think about what will you do without any tool. First, develop the logic of working with data without thinking about the tool that you are going to use. First step is always that logical thought process has to be there. So if I give you this on a printed piece of sheet and I say, go ahead and tell me how many startups are there, which column would you go and start counting? You will go to the startup names, right? Startup names. You will go to the names. You'll say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's exactly what we're going to pull over here. So I'm going to pull and I can check mark in front of startup names. It gives me first startup name. Okay, look at this. And why is it doing that? What is the data type of startup names? Is it a text or a number?
It's a text.
It's a text, right? So automatically no aggregation would happen on top of it. So what it has given me the name of the first startup. So underneath the visualizations where you see the charts, you see field. Underneath the field, you see what it's showing. It is showing me the first startup name if I arrange it in A to Z manner. And what are the other options? So other options I'll get when I click over here. And I have first, last, count distinct, count. Which one do you think I should pick?
Count distinct.
Count distinct. Why count distinct? Like I told you, if one particular startup is repeating multiple times, I still want to count it as one. So I'm going to use count distinct, which means unique values. Right? So how many startups data I have? I have about 1,721 startup names over here. Unique names. Clear? So far, so good?
Yeah, perfect, ma'am.
All right. Now, in your visualization, there are two parts. One is where you build the visualization and the other where you format your visualization. So building we have done. Now we are going to do a little bit of formatting. So we can go to format, and this thing that you see at the bottom, count of startup name, this is the category label that you have. So I can turn it off. Okay. Or if you have it on, then when you are over here and you see this field is coming as count of startup name, exactly that's what's coming over here. I can also rename it for the visual. So instead of count of startup names, I can say it is total number of startups. Okay, and automatically this has changed at the bottom. So far, so good.
Yes.
So we can either have this is a category value name, or we could have put a title. I just don't want to touch a lot of things because otherwise it will be, you might feel it's overwhelming, too many things. So I don't want to give too many things, just the basic warm-up session on Power BI. Right? Now what I do, not because I'm lazy, but what I like to do, copy paste a lot. It just reduces the human errors, efforts, both. So I'm going to copy, Control C, same as Excel, Control V, and create another card. Do the same thing, Control C, Control V, create another card. And in these cards, now we can change the values that we have dropped. So the second card I have is for the total amount of investment done. So it comes as to be 42 billion. I'll do the same thing, click on it, rename for this visualization, and I'll say total investment. And for the last one, I would want, I think what I've got is the number of verticals. So industry verticals I'm dropping. And again, it's a text, so I want to do a count distinct on top of it. So there are 90 unique startup verticals that are there. So number of types, number of type of startup. Okay. The copy paste is also going to help and make sure that all your cards are of the same size. That is also important. Let me know if anybody has created cards. Just create 2. Don't aim for 3 right now. Just create 2. Done all 3. Ishad done. Amit done. Abhishek done.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Wait, no. Like while I was analyzing the data set, the startup name, like one name G, has been repeated 4 times, ma'am.
Correct.
So will it make any changes? Like we have considered it only once, right? So only.
Yeah. So why the names are repeating? So if you see, the dates are different. So for example, when you have a startup, there are multiple times when people are investing in it. Let's say I had a startup, they were initial, what do you call as the I don't remember the exact name, but they are the first few set of people who invest in it.
Seed
Then
round.
as it keeps on seeding round, right? And then slowly and gradually, if it's more successful, more people want to come and invest into it. So there are multiple investments going in the same startup. That's why multiple times it's appearing. Right? That's the reason I went for a unique count, not a count, because count will give me a wrong number. Unique count will give me the right number of values.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Next, I want to create the top 10 cities in terms of number of cities. So let's go back. And what type of chart was it? Anybody paid attention? What type of chart is this? What is this called?
Bar chart.
It's a bar chart.
Bar
Correct.
chart.
It's a bar chart. So where is the bar chart? First row, third column, clustered bar chart. We'll click on it. Just like the cards over here also, your basically the chart has been populated and I need to drop the fields into it. So what do I need to drop into it? I need the city locations so that I can get the list of the city, and I want the count of the city. So I'm going to drop the city location once again in the values. So over here in access, city location, in values, count of the city locations. So over here, you can see, like we predicted, like you guys predicted, Bangalore has the highest, followed by Mumbai, Delhi, Gurgaon, Pune, Hyderabad. So pretty much all the cities that you spoke about is listed over here. And the list is long. It's not a short list. It's a long list. So should I put all the cities in my visualization? Should I give all the information to my end user? Like, oh, let's see, there are 50 cities. All 50 cities information should be there or no?
No, ma'am. I guess
No.
only top 10, ma'am.
We are typically interested in what is working well and what is not working well. So we focus on the top or we focus on the bottom most of the time, right? So what we're going to do is, sorry, I have this phobia, huh? Because they were not distributed properly. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to only focus on the top 10. Now, how do we put this filter over here? Yes, so how we are going to put the filters? Remember the third panel I spoke about, filters? We'll click open it. And like I said, you can filter a visualization, you can filter the entire dashboard, you can filter the entire workbook of Power BI. So right now we are interested in filtering for this particular visualization. So we'll select that. Over here, do you see count of city? Right, this is a count, and when you open, you are going to get values like less than, greater than. No, we don't want that. Sorry, we'll open the city location. In city location, you have three type of filtering: basic filtering, advanced filtering, and top end. So basic filtering is just like auto filters of Excel, where you say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and that's what shows up. But we are not doing that. We are going to go to the choice of top end. So in top end, you can pick either top, you can pick bottom, and then you have to tell how many items are you looking at. So how many do we want? We want top 10. Now, top 10 based on what? Top 10 based on the count of the locations, right? So I'm going to drag city location once again in the value and make it count. Once this is done, I'm going to apply the filter, and now I'm looking at only the cities which are the top cities, top 10. Clear? And again, a lot of choices in formatting are there. How do you want the bars? Do you want the title? Title is on, but I want to rectify. I don't want to say count of city location. So I want to say startup.
Ma'am, here based on count means what, ma'am? Total number of startup count, that is correct, no?
The count based on which one? Startup counts. Yes. Okay, and in the visualization, I'm going to turn on the data labels. What are data labels? The numbers that you see over here. So we can see, if I expand it a little bit, we can see in Bangalore, there are about 650 startup. Mumbai had 418, New Delhi had 324, Gurgaon had 248, and the last one, which is Jaipur, had 24 startups in it. So this is how you got the first visualization of top 10 cities in terms of number of startups. Startup count based on location.
In this graph, if we would have taken the count distinct, what would have happened? Like the logic?
The logic would, over here, you're saying on based on value?
Yes, ma'am.
See, Bangalore is existing only one time. Right?
Okay.
Mumbai exists only one time. So if you say distinct, it will be one throughout, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Count of the city location. Count distinct.
Only if you use the count, then it changes. In count distinct, nothing changes. Like,
but it doesn't make sense. By value of count distinct of city location. See, this, I don't know why it is not making change, but logically, if you think about it, when I'm saying city locations, and if 100 times Bangalore is coming and I'm saying count the distinct value, it is only going to come once.
yes, ma'am.
Right? That's the reason I did not pick a distinct.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Okay, once this is done, is it done? Let's move on to the second visualization.
Yes, ma'am.
Done. Some startup might be repeated. They are repeated, yes. Which one are you talking about, Yuvraj? The number of startups? Over here, if you remember, we did a count distinct. Right? Because if you would have done a count over here, this was a larger number. Because of the repetition, it's large. But if you do a count, then it will be the exact number. Without any repetition of the data would be there.
In bar chart, ma'am.
In bar chart. Oh, you're saying, okay, yeah, that's a valid point. What he's saying, the locations might be repeated. Okay, so then probably
Seen 1 mg was 4 times there.
4 times. So we can take the startup name in value. and over here do a count distinct. Yeah, this makes sense. Correct. You're correct, Yuvraj. So instead of taking the location, we are going to take the startup name and do a distinct count on it. And do the same thing in the filters also. We are going to do a distinct count based on my startup names and do a count distinct on it, apply. Right. So 511 are there in Bangalore, 355 in Mumbai, 284 in New Delhi, and so on and so forth. Move on. Next, yes.
Like if I can just spend 1 minute on explaining the concepts of access values and legends. Like that's the most confusing part for me.
So access value is what? This is your access. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what you want to, when you draw a chart, there is an axis and there are values which you plot on it.
Yes,
Correct?
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
value is what you want to plot and axis is what you want to show it against. So what we want to show is the name of the city locations. So that went into axis. And what we are trying to show in Bangalore, what is the count of the startups,
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
right? So that went over here in the value.
And what about legend?
Legends, we don't have it over here.
But
Because there is only
what is
one.
the meaning of legend here?
Legend is, for example, let's say, okay, for example, let's say if I created, no, over here also doesn't make sense to have a legend. Wait, legend would be, for example, let's say.
You can use it for pie chart mainly.
No, not necessary for pie chart. For example, let's
easy
say if I
explanation.
have a date, hold on. So for example, if I have a date and I want to show the count of the startup and I want to show the investment amount. Okay. Hold on. So what this is showing me, what this is, for example, there are multiple colors in your visualization at this point. Correct?
Yes.
So for example, if you look at this orange line over here, so what is it? So all the colors that are there, even this is not good. Sorry. Trying to find one which will make more sense for it to show up. Okay, instead of startup name, if I put industry vertical, then it makes sense. Okay, now it makes sense. So for example, anything which is like say this orange or you see this blue color. So whose bar is this blue? In 2017, these were the, let me make it easier. Hold on, startup. Still it is very high. So in 2016, you see in 2016, there were various verticals and the startups were there.
Yes,
so
yes.
what does this blue bar, how do I know what is this blue, what is this green, what does orange mean? That I'm going to get to understand through the legends on the top. Okay, when I see the light blue, I mean, I know what the light blue means. What does the dark blue means? I'm looking at a accounting vertical. If I'm looking at this color, this is advertising and
So
marketing.
in the
vertical.
categories, basically.
Right. So basically, legends help you to read your data.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right. For example, if I had a column chart in which I'm talking about the successful startups and the failure startups. So successful might be a different color and failure may be different color, because in each year I'll have a successful and a failure. Correct? So how many
it is an indication for a particular data?
It is think about it as a color code to read your charts.
Means it will be an indication, no? Means indication.
It is, yeah, it's not indication. It is telling you what you're reading, how to interpret that data. Because without a legend, this chart or this visualization is useless, completely useless. Because nobody would know what is blue, what is red, what is green. So I'm reading my data based on that legend.
Yeah, this is reading and presentation only. It is eye-catching point how it is behaving.
You can say like that. But basically, without a legend, you can't read your charts if there are multiple things on it. Okay, if only this was there, then it's easy, right? Because what I'm trying to show over here is in each year how many startups were there. So there is no legend. Why? Because the blue chart, whether this is a blue bar, this is also a blue bar, all of them are blue. So what they're telling is the count of the startups in each year. Now, if I wanted to bifurcate this based on the verticals, then one bar, which is this one particular bar, gets divided into multiple bars, multiple columns,
Yeah, that
right? And
means
each
breakup.
column is showing the vertical that it belongs to,
Yeah, breakup, that is correct, ma'am.
the breakup. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
I
Clear,
don't know why I stopped sharing. Yeah. Okay. This is done. And let's go back. So now let's, yes.
How do we get this 511 and 355 in this previous bar
These
chart?
are called data labels.
Yeah, where is
Okay.
that option?
Data
I did not
labels, when you select your visualization, this is build and this is format. So within format, you should just scroll down, you will get something called data labels. Okay. All right. Next one that I want to work with is called a, I think that will get too complicated now. We don't have the time. Let's talk about this tree map. This visualization, I know you guys can't visualize it. It's a tree map that I've created. And what is a tree map? Let's go over here. This is what a tree map looks like. So using this tree map, what we want to again visualize is the investors. Okay. So if I drop investor's name and if I drop the amount, so this is showing you a lot of investors, right? What does a tree map do? There's a rectangle. It divides into smaller rectangle. The more area a particular rectangle has taken or the value has taken means it has more investment. And the smaller it becomes, it means the investment is smaller. But does this chart really give you any output? Does it make any sense to look at it?
No, ma'am.
Not at all.
No, ma'am.
It looks like your TV something went wrong in my TV, right? It doesn't it look like that? Suddenly stop working.
Yeah.
Little
So
bit
again,
disturbing to the eyes, actually.
oh yes. So again, what should we do? What should our focus be? Again, top 10. Right? So we again want to do what? I want to work with the top, let's say top 5 investors this time. Let's work with the top 5 investors. Investors in terms of what? What should I take over here?
Money means how much
Money.
they have invested.
The amount in USD we'll put over
The
here.
amount.
And let's apply because investor is worth its money only. So over here again we have Westbridge Capital, which is the highest. Then there's SoftBank Group. Then there's Microsoft and the Vijay Shekhar Sharma. So these are the main investors. Clear? And what you can also do over here is you see something called details. So group is what? Group are the investors and value is the USD. But I would really love to see the USD amount also, which I'm able to see when I'm hovering on top of it. So instead of hovering, I want the value over here. So I can bring the amount in USD and drop it in details. As soon as I do, you see over here in the details, the amount has been put. And then again, we can do formatting in terms of our labels, or if I turn on my data label, it would have been, yeah, that is better. Let's not drop it over here because in labels, I can do the formatting. So it is showing this is 4 billion, 3 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion, 1 billion. And if I want to do formatting from billion to million or whatever, then we can go back over here and display unit I can change. I can show it as a million also.
Ma'am, can we add multiple details, ma'am?
No, that you can't.
Can we bring those labels in the center?
Can we bring those label in the center? They would not look nice in the center, to be honest, and it doesn't look like you can. It won't look nice in the center. It's a rectangle, right? So you want it to be symmetrical. If the names are coming that side, you would want everything on the left hand side.
But that option is there. whether right, left, whatever option where I'll get.
You don't have that option. That's what I'm saying. When you open data labels and when you look at the values over here, I don't have that option. If I could,
Okay.
that option would have been present over here. Right?
Yes. So this is the standard format.
Every chart has a different formats that you will see.
Okay.
Some charts will have few things in it, other charts won't have. So it varies from chart to chart. What is the purpose of this chart? The purpose of this chart typically is, you say that the tree maps are typically used for the data which has hierarchy in it. But over here, what I'm using it, again, to do a comparison, just like a bar chart. In bar chart, when you see there's a longer bar and a shorter one, you know, Bangalore did the highest, followed by Bombay and New Delhi and so on and so forth. Same thing is happening in tree map also. The more the area it is occupying, it means the more investment is there. Right? So if someone has to understand which investor has the highest investments right now, which one is it?
Westbridge Capital.
Westbridge. Right? Why and how do we know? By looking at this is occupying the major area, followed by SoftBank, then Group, then Microsoft, eBay, Tenant, and Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Merlin, is it clear? All right. So this is done. And let's move on. Let's try to create one more. Let's try to create this one. This is a table I'm going to create. The decomposition tree might be too much. Can we show a graph where these investors invested in which company and which company has highest number of top investors? Hold on, you guys are drawing on my screen. Clear the all drawings. Okay. So yes, we can. However, the better way to do it would be if I converted these into something called a slicer, so that I pick Westbridge, and you can do over here also. See, that's the beauty of these visualization tools, that if I click on Westbridge Capital, everything else shows, all the information is shown through Westbridge Capital now. There are two startups that it's funded according to this data, one in Bangalore, one in Delhi. This is the total investment, number of startup types, two different types of startup they have invested. If I click on SoftBank, it is showing only one, that is in Bangalore. And if I click, so as in when you're clicking over here, like the SoftBank Group, even though it's a third investor, it has actually invested in 3 different startups in 3 different cities and 2 different type of startups. Okay, so you can get an understanding. That's, you know, that's why we are moving away from Excel and moving towards the data visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau, because of the interactivity between the charts. Creating one chart gives you one limited information, but if I create multiple charts and I interact, it gives me much more information about my data. Yuvraj?
For this interactivity to take place, the Power BI itself will do it, or we need to create that link?
It's a basic, what do you call, feature in this particular tool. It's a basic, it's by default. In fact, we have to do things to stop this interaction. Sometimes I don't want interaction to happen, so that we need to work on it. But by default, everything interacts with each other. All the visualizations talk to each other.
Okay.
Okay.
Like if we add some more rows to the data set, like in this visualization also it will change, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely. So if your data set with which it is connected, things are changing, and you refresh it, pulls the data again, it connects with the data again, and whatever are the changes, it will reflect over here.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. We are running out of time, but I want to show you one last thing, and let me do with this thing. Okay. If you want to change the size of your dashboard, we can do that also. But let me just focus on one more type of visualization. And this time I want to understand, okay, I've got these startups. I know these are the various verticals. These are the investors. What is the investment they have done? I know the number of startups. I also want to get an idea about what are the verticals, sub-verticals, not even verticals, sub-verticals, top 10 sub-verticals in which people have invested, and what's the average investment. So that, let's say, if I'm thinking of a startup and I've thought about, okay, this vertical is good, but in this vertical also, which sub-vertical I can go with. And if I decide on a sub-vertical, then what is the average investment I'm looking for that typically in the past, in the history, similar companies have got. So I am going to work with in the third column and 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth row, which is matrix. So I'll click on the matrix. So matrix is what? Matrix is basically a table that we are creating. So you're going to create a table. And what I want to put over here is from the fields. I want to pick the sub-verticals. Where is it? Sub-verticals. Okay. And I want to pick the amount of investment. But again, I don't want the total investment to be there. I'm not looking for sum of investment. I'm looking for average investment. So when you're dropping a field, which is a number field like amount in USD, you will get all these functions that you can work with. By default, it's doing sum, but if I want average, I can click on average and I'll be looking at the average values right now. Now, these are not visible thanks to the names. The names are too big. So let's try to reduce the names a little bit. And again, I don't want to look at all the sub-verticals. I'll be more interested in working with the top 10 based on the average amount. So same process that we did for all. Basic, top end, let's say top 10 based on the amount. And in amount also, I want the average amount and apply. And these are my top 10 subcategories that I have. So I know, and if I want to arrange it, I can click over here and I can arrange it in this fashion where I can see bike taxi. This is investment. This is the highest. Mobile wallet and the private equity firms and the so and so forth. Clear?
I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
Yes, somebody had it out.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, what data you are showing right now, most of the data is like clean data, but many a times
It's not actually clean data. I cleaned it. It was not a clean data and it's still not very clean data.
So we'll get these kind of data only from the market, and then we have to smoothen it up.
So it varies. Okay, you have to understand that one person is typically not doing all the things on a project. There are multiple peoples who are associated with a project. So they may be a person whose work is just to retrieve the data, clean up the data, and give it to the analyst. Okay. Or sometimes it may be that we are the person who has to clean the data also and work with it also. So it varies. So definitely a very important role is that we have to do a cleanup of the data. And it's very important and it takes a lot of time. So you won't believe that, before we had this, when we got this data, we did cleaning on it. We were sitting and cleaning the data only because it was not a very great data. So we had to clean it, but not all the data still got cleaned. I can see some of the data which is still we can perform better cleaning on it. Okay. So you won't, it's not necessary you get a clean data. You may not. I will put it this way. I have worked with companies where I've got very clean data. Nothing was required to be done from my side. Only thing that was done was probably creation of new columns, for the better analysis, but no cleaning was done.
So, ma'am, the data, whatever data we are getting, we are using Power BI to clean it up, or it has to be done manually?
No, we can use Power BI to clean it. So we've got a window called transformation, data transformation, in which we have a lot of tools over there where we have the facility of cleaning up the data. So we can get rid of the error rows, we can replace the values, we can replace the value with averages and things so and so forth. We can get rid of the null value. So all that cleaning can be done in the Power BI, but not in this particular window. It's done through query, Power Query.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
All right.
Ma'am, ma'am, one more. This visualization, how can I save it into PDF or PPT, ma'am? That option where I can get
the
modeling
PDF,
only.
You can go to File and you can go to Export. Over here, it can download it as a PDF.
Okay. It is in export only. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Export. Yeah. Let's not get into the dirty data set for now. As it is, I've overrun my time. Right. I want to do one more thing, small bitty thing. So I want to focus on that if you don't mind, Zafar. Can you explain it again? Could you tell me, Merlin, which part you want me to explain it? This chart or this particular table? The latest one you did. So in this table, the visualization that I've used is basically this one. This is called a matrix. In matrix, I dropped the subverticals and I dropped the average amount in USD. How I convert it into an average, once you drop in the rows subverticals and in the value the amount, once you click on this drop down, you will get an option of converting a different or picking up the function for aggregation. So I picked average this time. Initially, every time it was either a count or a sum. Once this is done, a lot of subverticals are there. So again, to focus on the top ones, we use the filter panel over here. And we are saying, I want to look at the top 10 subverticals based on average amount. So that's what we are getting over here. Clear? Now, two important things which are still missing. One is your header, the title of your dashboard. Do you think it's important or not?
Yes, that is the main parameter, ma'am, actually.
That is very important. Imagine if you open up a newspaper one day and there's no headlines, there's just paragraph sitting everywhere. Would you know where to start or what I would want to read? Probably not. So same effect is of the title on your dashboard. If you don't have an effective dashboard title, it kind of loses its value to say that, okay, what am I looking at? What am I going to get out of it? What is the theme of this dashboard? Right? So that's why the titles are important. Now, how are we going to put the title? We will go to this insert menu over here. And right here, you will see something called a text box. Once you click on it, just like every other thing over here, a placeholder gets created. And on the top, now I can create my header. So I gave the name as, I wanted to call it startup trends in India. So that's what I'm going to type in. Before typing in, if you want to adjust the font size, that would be better. If you want to change the color, you want to put borders and all, you can all do that over here. Startup trends in India. And then I want to make it center. Once you select it, let's say I want to make it bold, I want to center it, and it's done. And if I want, again, since you've selected this thing, you can also go to, where is it? Borders, effects. And if you want to give a background color to it, you can. And if you want to put some borders around it, then you can. Okay. So all these things can be done. Right? And now, last part. I know I've been saying last too many times, but I did have few things that I wanted to cover for this workshop. So I'm just going to take another quick 5 minutes and finish it off. Okay, now last part was a lot of time when you created a dashboard, like I said, there is interactivity. If I click on Bangalore, automatically in Bangalore, which are the subverticals are coming up and what's the average amount it's coming up. If I click on Mumbai, what are the subverticals, top 10 subverticals, what's the amount, how many startup types, what's the total number of startups, what's the total investment. Now, these already have interactivity with each other. Now, if I want to create an element that all of them interact with one particular tool. Like this is over a period of time, how many startups were there, what kind of investments were there, how many type verticals, sub verticals were there. Now, if I wanted to analyze this as year wise, over the years of 3 or 5 years or 10 years, how has the trend changed, right? Then what do I need? I need a slicer on top of it. I need a kind of a filter on top of my dashboard. So how do we do that? And the first column, the second last is called slicer. So once you click on the slicer, a placeholder got created and I want to drop my date into it. Once I drop my date into it, what it has done for me is created a slicer. And what a slicer does in a very layman terms, it's a kind of an interactive filter. So if I want to, let's say, if I want it from 1st January 2016 to, let's say, till, let's say, first, or let's go back to December 2016. If I select it like this, I could click, I can move this around also, right? Automatically, things have changed. Right, this is showing in 2016 to 26 Feb 2017. The biggest investor was SoftBank Group, and the other one was not there. Ratan Tata was there. Some undisclosed investors were there. Back in 2016, there were 287 startups, and you can play around with this data also. You can play around with the dates, and you can see the difference that over a period of time, how has it worked. Okay, so these are called slicers that I'm working with right now. And this is what slicers work like a filter on all the elements of your visualization. Now tell me if you have any questions. And you can change your views also, by the way. You have a lot of themes in Power BI. You can download themes and apply it also. So we have the view, we have the themes, and we can change the themes to make it look better. There are some inbuilt themes. There are some themes that you can download and apply. Questions?
Can we deploy this in the website, ma'am?
You can, but we need licenses for that. We need to have a Power BI Pro license for it to be deployed or to be embedded in any of the website.
Okay.
There was NA while you were changing the date. That means the data is not completely clean. That's what I was saying, Jafar. It was not a clean data. And I was not in time to clean up the data also, because I started today only. I think I started around 5-ish, and then I had to come back from my office. So was not able to clean the data. So when somebody said it's a clean data, I was like, no, it's not a clean data. It was not a clean data. So, yeah.
This is Suman here. I
Yes,
was
Suman.
asking that question actually. But the case is that if it is not clean, and you are saying that this is also not clean, then how do someone understand whether the data is clean or not? When appeal, how much that will be considered is clean?
See, first and foremost thing, before you get into any kind of modeling, or if you're getting any kind of visualization or analysis, the step number one are, there are few things that we focus on when we are prepping the data. Like we are going to talk about outliers, we are going to talk about missing values, we are going to talk about null values. How do you treat that? So that's a different ball game altogether. So first we're going to sit and do that analysis, clean up the data, and then we do any kind of analysis or visualization or a prediction on top of it, because otherwise it will all result in a wrong analysis from our end. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
All right, guys. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I will give you I should have given you my LinkedIn account info, but let me write my name. If you work with my spellings, I know you will be able to find me easily. Please do connect with me if you have any questions. If you have any questions, if you have any questions regarding how you want to build a career in data science, if you have any questions around Power BI, Tableau, Excel, VBA, anything which I kind of work on, I will be more than happy to help you out.
Can I tag you like while I post this dashboard?
Yes, you can. No problem.
Thank you.
All right. And I hope you enjoyed. I know we were not able to achieve everything that we wanted. I wanted to do one more chart type, but that required a little bit more work. So I was not able to complete it. But I hope whatever we've done, not that we wanted to push and get a lot of things done, but we wanted to make sure that you are able to learn whatever is taught, even though it's not like 100%, but at least 90% has been done in the session over here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like Power BI. This has made you interested in understanding about the data, the business, and the world of visualization. All right. You have a good night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am, are you give any certificate in that?
In which?
This Tableau or something?
Yeah.
Sorry, Power BI.
Yes, yes. We do certifications. Yes.
Okay.
Like, there was an option like PY and R, that is Python and R. Will you complete that code? Will you complete that in this workshop only, ma'am?
Yes. Python is, I think, day 3. Tomorrow is SQL and Python is day 3.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Is it covering R also?
No, it will not be covering R. See, what we are trying to focus right now, there are a lot of tools out there. Our main focus is to focus on the ones which are more popular. And how do I know which is more popular? Because that's a requirement from the various companies in terms of I want to hire people from Ivy, and these are the skill sets that are required. Or when we do corporate trainings. So we are doing a lot of trainings this year. Since last year, it has been maddening, and how many people are getting trained in corporates. And again, the main tool sets that many of the organization have asked us is Excel, SQL, Python, Power BI. These has been the main focus for any company.
Yeah. Ma'am, please you provide your contact number, ma'am. Once 3 days is over, I'll call you back. I'll contact with you.
Okay, I'm putting it over here, my contact number. I'm not very good at picking up the calls. I'll let you, giving you advance understanding. The reason I do, trainings all 7 days, but you can drop me a WhatsApp message and I'll reply back and just give a context how we met.
Yeah, that is fine.
Okay. Yeah. Comparing Tableau and Power BI, I'm a big fan of Tableau, Zafar, very, very honest. However, I have seen Power BI has taken over pretty much everywhere. Any company that I've worked with at this point has asked for only Power BI. They want working on Power BI. I guess it's more economical to do the bundling with the Microsoft Office, which pretty much every company uses. So that's the one reason it might be useful. And in other occasions where I was working with very large data set, my Tableau actually froze, but my Power BI was still steady. It was slow, but steady. So I think that's another reason that Power BI, if you ask my perspective, I think right now Power BI is #1 choice for a lot of people. How economics are in Python. Again, Python is taking over our big time nowadays. Are there fresh jobs for freshers in data science? See, guys, this is very common question that comes across. Freshers says only working professionals are there. Working professionals say only freshers are there. But trust me, a person becomes an experienced person because he was a fresher at one point, got a job, and then he got an experience. Right? So definitely there are jobs for freshers in this, and there are a lot of jobs. And don't go by what I'm saying. You go to LinkedIn, look for, just type in or leave it, data analyst jobs, data scientist job, data internships. Leave it, tag it, and leave it on your LinkedIn. See the number of posts that will hit your email every day. So it's a big industry. A lot of companies are investing into this right now. A lot of companies are opening their captive unit of analytics, which they never had. So a big, big place. Yes, you will get a certification of completion at the end of the boot camp. Yes. And did I miss anything? How is economics background helpful? See, back in those days when analytics was new to India, or the companies which were into analytics were only hiring statistics, economics, mathematicians. No MBAs, no engineers, nothing was getting hired back then. So a lot of models, statistical models that are used in predictions in machine learning, that comes from what you guys do in colleges, and hence statistics, mathematicians, econometrics, economics students are preferred. What is the average when you are, how come you are so proficient in data science? We are coming from engineering background, and that to civil engineer to add on to it. I'm a civil engineer, and I love data. The whole life I spent, my whole career as a consultant in civil engineering was also around analysis, even not this kind of analysis, but we were designing. I used to design and I used to analyze before I can design. So that's how my flavor for analytics came. What is the average salary? Average salary would be anywhere from, depending on city to city, anywhere from 3.5 to 5. And some companies are very generous. They even started anywhere from 7.5 to 8 lakhs per annum. BCom people, Amit, to be honest, any field people can enter into data science right now. Recently, one student of mine, her name is Pooja Mishra, she got hired by a company to work on Power BI, and her background is B and MA in English. So imagine if she can get through, why not you? You're still coming from a quantitative background, right? You're coming from
it is a confusion from past 2 months. I was like searching for data science, but in LinkedIn, every post they found like CS background or no economics background. I'd be a bit depressed on it.
Not really. I can make you talk to so many people. People are coming as they were botanists, geologists, pharmacists. I've got MBBS students, MBBS, like they were working doctors, now shifted into analytics completely. So, in my entire journey of 14 years, you would not imagine what all educational background people I've met, and I've seen them flourishing in their industry. Like, I'm a civil engineer, right? But what I feel, your education should not be the one which decide whether you can enter this industry. What really decides whether you will be good in this industry is if you like manipulating data, if you like numbers, if you like to understand businesses, if you like to think and mix business and data together and come up with solutions for your end user, then you will be very successful.
True, ma'am. Very
Right.
much true.
Yeah. Data is the new oil. Absolutely. And it's crazy. It's been crazy 1.5 year after COVID. And 1 year it was stagnant, and then it has been crazy once again. So I have 3 years of experience in software development. So what salary should I expect? So it depends on what's your current salary also, Yuvraj. Anybody who has about 3 years of experience and you're bringing something to the plate, in the sense that your past experience should also get counted in some way, then you should easily aim for 8.5, 10. I would say it's going to be, that's what you should be aiming at.
Ma'am,
All right,
tomorrow,
guys. Yes.
Yeah. Ma'am, tomorrow you only taking class, ma'am?
No. Like what we have, like you would also experience, not one person can be good with all the tools. So my proficiency was in this tool. There's another person, his name is Pratik. He's the person who is the trainer and the mentor over here at Ivy for MySQL. So he's going to work on SQL with you. And then we have another trainer who works with Python. So all of us have different strengths.
Yeah, thank you for your Power BI knowledge sharing, ma'am. This was
Thank you so
excellent.
much. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
You have a good night. And I will see you back tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Zafar, you might want to, if you've taken down my phone number, you might want to share your resume with me once, and then let me look at your resume and let me figure out what are the loopholes in it, and then we can take this conversation forward. All right, Zafar. Niti Aayog cite an example of data analytics. Everywhere there is data analytics. There is no business which does not have data analytics right now. E-commerce, something that we use day in and day out. Everything has analytics in the back end. All right, guys. I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. Thank you.